number 1, you've probably heard of it. It's called the whip pan. It's basic but extremely effective, so we have to cover it. So just then, we went from left to right. The next shot we now get, we're gonna go from left to right in another location to emphasize how cool this can be. Is go from the left, pan to the right. So now getting that second shot, panning onto it whilst moving forward like that. And transition number 2 is the push forward. Now, this one, I'm gonna demonstrate it with some kind of texture shot where we're gonna go down low here. And what we're gonna do is get that moving forward motion again, and then suddenly with that quick forward push, pushing forward and then slowing down. Transition number 3, I like to call the tilt and twist. For this one, we're going to start walking forwards, tilting up, and then whilst we're tilting up, we twist. Okay, transition number 4 is the object reveal. So, we've got this nice shot of some chimney smoke with a little hint of the last bit of the sunset here, and we're going to do a quick tracking motion from left to right. You press to get the auto exposure and autofocus locked on to the subject that you want to reveal. Otherwise it will flick between the tree and where you're going. And you want to continue that tracking motion in the same direction as the other shot. All right, transition number 5, the pro transition. This is called the whip pan redirect. I actually came up with a whip pan, then a kind of a decoy shot where you go in the same direction as the whip pan, stay on an object, whip the other way, followed by another whip pan to your final shot. So it's actually composed of 3 shots. Let me show you what I mean. So we're going to do the basic whip pan with a bit of forward motion. So we lean back, forwards, and we whip from left to right. Shot number 2, this is the key one that's a bit different. We're going to go down here and get some kind of texture shot. So what we're going to do is go close to the water here and make sure our focus and exposure is locked fairly near to us. And we're going to whip in the same direction as the first shot, focus on the water and whip back again. Let me show you that one more time. So we're going to whip in the same direction, focus on the water and then whip back. And then we're going to finish out with a shot of all these birds. Remember, with that one that we just did, we went from right and then left. So this one, we're going to come left again. Happens to finish up with a beautiful swan.
Match cut. For this, we're going to track our subject from the side, keeping them in the center of frame at all times. I'm going to do this at 3 different locations. Try to keep the same framing and pace with all 3 shots. Now in the edit, when we cut these clips together, we get this match cut effect where the environment is changing around our subject. Tracking shots. Okay, now whilst we're tracking our subject, let's capture a few more angles. Tracking shots look great when sprinkled into a sequence, so having a good variety will give us plenty to work with in the edit. You could track your subject from behind, the front, you could go high, you could go low, go fast or go slow. When out on location, these shots may not feel like they're working, but in the edit, they will cut together nicely. Okay, now let's get a little bit more creative using a wipe transition. You're going to need 2 shots for this. For the first shot, I'm going to track my subject from the side, only this time I'm going to use something in the foreground to wipe through the frame. The idea here is to use something in the foreground to completely fill the frame, like this. Now for the second shot, I'm going to start from behind another tree at a different location and then reveal my subject, tracking as I go. You can now edit these 2 shots together for a much more seamless transition. Number 4, the orbit. For this, I'm going to orbit around my subject 180 degrees, keeping them in the center of frame. I'm going to orbit to the right and I'm going to orbit to the left. I'm also going to use a combination of both my wide-angle lens and my standard lens. Different lenses will achieve different looks, so we'll cut together nicely in the edit. Number 5, the vortex reveal. Now, whilst our subject is sat still, let's enable vortex mode on our gimbal and capture a push forward shot as well as a pullback shot. Try adding a speed ramp to these shots in the edit to reveal your subject. Bonus tip, try shooting shots in reverse. For this, I gathered some fallen leaves and had Megan throw them in the air. In real time, this looks okay, but in reverse, we get much more creative results. Number 6, the extension pole. Okay, now let's up the production value of these shots by attaching our gimbal to a 3-meter long extension pole. Using this 3-meter long extension pole, I'm going to start low and lift my camera high to mimic a camera movement used in many Hollywood films. Use something in the foreground for this to create more depth and emphasize your movement. For the opening shot of this sequence, let's start with our camera 3 meters in the air, mimicking a drone shot. This will instantly add production value to our sequence. Number 7, the black frame transition. Another easy one, this one, and a great way to transition from one clip to another. The idea here is simple. End your first shot on a black frame, like this. Then make sure you start your second shot on a black frame, like this. Now, when we edit these two clips together using nothing but a simple cut, we get this. You could take this transition to the next level by transitioning to a fake drone or jib shot. For this, I'm going to start with my camera fully extended on a black frame and then pull back and lift up to reveal my subject. Now, when we cut these two clips together, we get this.